If you're a woman in America, you're probably a Jane, right? I mean, who hasn't confronted trauma? Who hasn't faced trauma? And if you're at a place where you're really looking for resources to help you heal that trauma, then we're here for you. I am Mskindness Ramirez, and as I often say at the beginning of any introductions, that really is my name. My dad did that to me about 45 years ago, so I stand very firmly in trying to be representative of that. And I'm the executive director of This Is Jane Project. It was about 4 years ago that Shannon called me up and she said, I have this idea and I really want to work on something that will destigmatize cannabis use for trauma. You'd have to ask Shannon, who is our executive director, why she came to me. But it was something. It was something in the way I use my voice, something in my willingness to discuss my own use of cannabis as a mother and how vocal I had been about it and how there's a lot of stigma around that. And we were friends, of course. And so I said, absolutely, this is something I want to be a part of. We didn't know that it was going to turn into the beautiful machine that it is today. But we certainly had hoped that we would, at the very least, show people that women can use cannabis to heal their bodies and it's okay. I actually entered this space because of my trauma caused by the healthcare system. I chose cannabis as a healing tool during and post-pregnancy as a breastfeeding mother. And my interaction with the system and its failure to guide and protect me was a spark for me and my privilege to enter this space and start using my voice. So I very publicly talk about my use. I use it all the time. I wrote a children's book about it. We grow it. My children know about it. My 13-year-old is more educated about the endocannabinoid system and plant science than I'd say most of the adults in our community. It's important to me that I show my use to help contribute to the destigmatization. Our mission is to uplift the lives of trauma survivors. We build community. We help women and non-binary people heal, really. Anyone who is willing to confront their trauma and may want to use cannabis or other supportive tools as a way to heal themselves, any woman or non-binary person technically qualifies as a Jane. We want to hear from you. Survivors Without Access is our flagship program. We use directly SB 34 and the compassionate care programming in a couple other states that we do it in, like Colorado. And we essentially partner with brands and dispensaries to facilitate access to bags of medication that brands and vendors are willing to give away and donate under the Compassionate Care Act. And this is where our relationship with Leafwell is really important and impactful, because under SB 34 in California particularly, and most other states where we do this, you do have to be a medical patient, which means you have to have a medical card that says you qualify for these specific conditions. And our Janes, as mental health trauma survivors, they qualify. And so through us and our partnership with Leafwell, we are able to get them a medical card at a very reduced price if they don't already have one. And then they qualify for SWA and they get on that list and they come out to one of the events that we have. We try to do them at least once every 6 weeks. And I gotta tell you, there are so many women who say afterwards, I could never, ever have been able to afford this. It has changed my life, my access to meds through This Is Jane Project. But we've evolved so much, starting from black and white photo campaign to Survivors Without Access, and then Jane, because there was an additional need, and then a call for more healing-centered activities and support groups and programming. And so in the last 2 years, we've launched Healing Happy Hour. We've launched our Hearts program, which is Healing Arts. And these are primarily virtual, where Janes can come from anywhere in the world and watch some modality, a practitioner teach something. I've taught heart-centered breathing, meditation. We've had financial literacy, especially coming out of a pandemic. We all have a little bit complex PTSD now because of what we experienced, especially if you're raising children and they were home with you for those 2-3 years. It's changed the way we communicate, the way we interact, the way we school, the way we listen, the way we connect. And so I just really, really want to use this platform and any platform I have to make that call to action, to pay attention to yourself, your body, your mind, and your needs. Because if we do our job right, you won't really need us.